So here we are coming into the exhibit space at the Pacific Grove Arts Center, where last night hundreds of people came to see Liz's opening, Color on Fire. So hi Liz, tell us a little bit about what it was like having all those people here enjoying your art last night.
Well, it was really great because people loved all the color. I don't think they're used to seeing this intensity of color, even though that is the way the sunsets are here on the Central Coast. And but the putting it all together in one room, you know, there's this whole wall here that's almost all red. I think that really gave them a sense of what my art is about. So I love contrast. I like contrast of color, contrast of shape, you know, different ideas. You know, one day I might be wrapping a bus that travels all over town, and the next day I might be making a tiny little orchid painting for someone. This is called Vermilion Seduction, and is my latest painting. And so I would say that that's one of the two themes that I'm working on now, is working bigger and bigger and making it more and more ethereal and abstract, and showing you how the color is refracting off the mist in these coastal locations and then being reflected down here in the water. You get the two, you get color twice. And during the day, this particular location is just mud. But look what happens when the sun goes down. All these spectacular colors. A lot of times there are little birds hopping around, flying by. So this is only a quarter block from my house, so I really enjoy going down there every night, and especially when my husband calls and says, "Sunset alert!" Because he can see the sunset coming faster than I can, because he's higher up. So if you come over here to this wall, I'll show you a couple more sunsets that are similar. This is a similar time of the year, where I call this one hot nights, because the winds were very warm and tropical, and we're creating all these fantastic colors and pixelating the water, the movement of the water, just the slight movement was pixelating it, so it made it look like a impressionist painting already. So, and it's fun to do the trees because they break up the light and make interesting shapes. And then this is a different beach near us, where there was just this unbelievable sunbeam heading straight for the rocks. So I call it arrow of time, because that's a concept that scientists like to talk about a lot. They say, well, if it could go, arrow time could go forward, why can't it go backward? So this is a big discussion, and of course you know how much they like to talk about these theoretical things. And I like to listen. I'm not a physicist, but physicists and artists are very closely linked by their interest in light. So I like to link my thoughts with my colors and with their thoughts. And then over here is a blue sunset, where this is another beach in Cambria, where the sun is right here, and it's chasing away the clouds. So I call it chasing blue, and these clouds are just boiling around and are sweeping towards the south. So and all this wind's blowing, and it's really agitated, but it's very strikingly beautiful also. And someone bought it here last night, so it's going to have a new home. And then here's a piece that you might recognize from the paper. It was featured in an editorial. It's Sunset at Big Sur. And this is an unusual color combination for me to have these deep, sort of russet brown colors with the red and the yellow. And then these very gentle, very transparent waves. So that's very close to here. So the sun is always changing the colors. You know, sometimes it looks like this, where it's just a little bit of transparent blue, and the sand looks very tranquil, and just a little foam, and a teeny little sailboat out there having a good time. Other times we go on trips, and this is a sunrise from Fiji. This is from our little cottage where we were staying. And they don't do anything by halves in Fiji. I mean, this sunrise was just like, pow, you know, here I come. And all the colors there are just spectacular. And the coral and the fish, or every color that you could ever name. And it's just like a rainbow in the sky, a rainbow on the land, a rainbow under the water. So we really enjoyed ourselves there. Over here is the other thing that I've been working on, of looking at lands that are growing sustainable crops or have been protected as ranch land, as this painting has of the Santa Lucia foothills. And they just have all this swooping movement as the forms come down, because they were formed by volcanic explosions, but now just make these very enticing hills and places for the cattle or people to wander around. And so this one particularly reminds me of my interest in dance. I'm an improvisational dancer, so I like to pick something to be inspired by and then dance about it, but it's not a big planned event. So, you know, here I was very inspired by this curve coming down, so I found all the other curves in this landscape, which weren't hard because they're already there, even up here as far as these distant peaks. And so it gives you the feeling that the earth is still moving and dancing and having a good time. And I was certainly having a good time when I painted it. And then here's another green one over here that's also got some of the same qualities, only it's a wintertime scene where the trees have just a little bit of that brownish purple stuff on the ends before they make these giant yellow leaves in the summer. And it was fun because you can see all these brush strokes, because there were all these areas that were colliding with each other as they came down the hill. And it was fun to have, you know, these deep shadows be purple, and then this lovely lime green to contrast with them. And so another area is sustainable vineyards, you know, where they are, this is one down near Chamizal, where they want to grow grapes in such a way that they're not taking up too much of the resources. So I would imagine that this pond is part of their resource effort to conserve resources. And the fun thing was that, you have all these, you still get the Santa Lucia Mountains and the Los Padres National Forest right here in the background, but then down here you've got these lovely green grapevines. So it's sort of like wildness and civilization. Here's a house that's, looks like it came out of the French country yard. But then if you look straight up, you're getting all these great trees and undulating hills. And this is a very soft night at the Cuesta Inlet near Morro Bay, or on Morro Bay. And this is a sand spit that goes out for 5 miles, and if you can only get here by either walking in this way, and it's about 5 miles long, or taking a kayak and paddling out, which is a fun thing to do. And I like this one because while this was fairly intense, this was very soft and impressionistic. Then some more paintings are, this is the mouth of the Little Sur River as it surges out to the ocean. And the sundown just happened to happen at the same moment as the water was being released out. And the sky had this beautiful blue and red contrast. And then it reflected down here. So this is water already, but it makes you much more aware of the liquidity and the movement of it because of the blue reflection. These are some orchids that we grow or have seen. This one in particular is a Rothschild orchid. It used to be the most expensive orchid in the world until they learned how to clone orchids. But it does grow only on the island of Borneo. So we went all the way to Borneo just to see it, as well as the other plants there. And they have 2,000 orchids there that grow nowhere else. And the last one over here is one of the 7 volcanic peaks near our house. So this is just a springtime view when the grass turns so green it almost hurts your eyes, but it's thrilling every spring to see it do that, and to see it transform itself. So I really like painting because it's always different, and I'm always thinking about what could I do for the next one that would be different or fun or different size, different inspiration. And so thanks a lot for coming to see the work, and talk to you soon. Bye.